Ahh Garland, the first boss of Final Fantasy I. The absolute pushover of a boss. I will knock you all down my foot. Well, how the turntables... Alright, yes, I made an office joke. Whatever, leave it alone. Look, I went after Garland at level 1, and all I did was buy 2 magic spells, and this is what happened. So yeah, he's pretty weak for someone who is touted as the finest swordsman in all the land. But I've always wondered why that is. For years I've thought, well, he's the first boss, and everyone who starts a new game, or anything new for that matter, needs to have a major victory first to gain a bit of confidence. It's like an unwritten rule in games, or maybe it's a written one and I just haven't read it. Stranger of Paradise kinda showed us all a lot of things, and it helped me understand Garland a little better. And I think he's doing everyone a huge favor based off the ending of the game and the beginning of Final Fantasy I. If you're new here, my name is Leonard Phillips, and here at the Returner's Hideout, we take deep dives into the Final Fantasy series and come up with possible theories to explain some of the mysteries of the games. So far, we've come up with how Stranger of Paradise might be a reference to 1600s British literature, all the way to how the Super Nintendo killed Final Fantasy II. We've still got a lot to unpack as this channel progresses, so if that's something you're into, you know what to do. So we all know the story. Garland kidnapped Princess Sarah, and it's up to you, the Warriors of Light, to save her. It's a tale as old as time itself. Everyone in Cornelia and in the castle claims that Garland is a real force to be reckoned with. And so, you spend some time making the warriors stronger and more capable of defeating Garland, only to get there and you beat him in 2 or 3 rounds. This makes the player feel good about how strong they are. They've finished a little quest. They've helped someone. Quite easily, I might add. This is a confidence booster, and the more I played the game, the more I wondered why specifically they made him so weak other than that reason. It stuck with me for a long time until Stranger of Paradise was released in 2022. I was hesitant to play it through, but I ultimately did, and it opened up a lot of doors and explained things that Final Fantasy I just didn't go into detail with, such as the origin of the time loop, blah blah blah. But the biggest thing it explained was the LUFENANS. Playing through Final Fantasy I, we learned that the LUFENANS were an ancient race of people who were descendants of Sky People. They're sort of the key holders to reaching the last bit of the game and offer up a lot of story. They're not really touted as good or bad, they're just sort of there. In Stranger of Paradise, the LUFENANS' job is to keep the balance of good and evil in check, and do whatever is necessary to keep that balance. So again, neither good nor evil. When the balance in Cornelia tips towards good too much, they do whatever they have to. Namely, they send evil to infiltrate. But now there's too much evil, and the Warriors of Light come into play. Eventually, the LUFENANS sever ties with Cornelia, and Jack takes his family named of Garland, and consumes all the darkness to become chaos, and creates situations just dark enough to warrant the Warriors of Light to be summoned. So in essence, Garland is really the king of Cornelia, but in a super twisted way. He's got to do evil things to keep the good in Cornelia. And I love it. So why then is he laughably weak when the Warriors of Light face him? Jack Garland knows that the Warriors of Light have a job to do. And their job is to go back in time and kill him, over and over again for all of time. Knowing this, I think Garland takes it easy on them the first go-around to do exactly what I said earlier. Build confidence and give them the little pat on the rear that they need to ultimately save the world. So just like rewarding the players in real life, Garland essentially does the same for the warriors in the game. My question is, are Princess Sarah and the King in on this whole thing too? Is that why the Chancellor doubts everything? Because that way it wouldn't be so obvious that they would have an easy time going where they're supposed to? Maybe he's not in the loop about it, so he has no clue about the plan and honestly thinks that the party is not the Warriors of Light. I don't know. There's a whole host of theories I could cover, and honestly, I wanted to present this video in such a way that it doesn't completely ruin everything. There's still a lot of nuances and story points that I didn't cover, but I will eventually. Astos, for instance, plays a huge role in Stranger of Paradise, and consequently in Final Fantasy I also. And after playing both and analyzing both, the connections between the two games are astounding. I haven't quite gotten into the DLC yet, admittedly, but man, I can't wait to do that. But what do you think? Leave a comment stating your opinion on Stranger of Paradise and Final Fantasy I. Did I miss something that would have made the connections between the two even greater? Let me know in a comment below. Lastly, the Slave Crown in Final Fantasy VI is super heavily underutilized, and I think Square missed a huge opportunity to make the best game in the series even better.